Welcome to the mediation training. In this session, my name is Inely Cesna, and in this session, we will talk about the difference between positions, interests, and also needs. So let's go right into the topic because it's an important one in terms of our ability to negotiate, to understand the issues at hand, and to conduct the mediation in a way that it's conducive to resolution. So let's look at positions versus interest. And I like to start with this picture of an iceberg, right? What's on the top of the water is that which we can see, which is obviously behaviors. Behaviors are evident, is on plain sight, and we can often see them. And they often demonstrate our positions. So we behave in a way that demonstrate our positions. So that may be we are arguing, or we are withdrawing, or we are criticizing, or we are speaking too much, or we are doubting and distracting and fighting. All those behaviors reveal the positions that we have in life. And let's say for dependency court, for example, in mediating dependency court, we may see that position as I want the full custody of my child. And I may argue, or I may criticize, or I may speak and fight in a way that I will behave in a way that represents that position. I want full custody of my child. Now, underneath that behavior, there's another layer, and that's the layer of feelings, the feelings that are motivating that behavior, and that's what we call interests. So underneath that behavior of arguing or criticizing or withdrawing, whatever it may be, there are feelings of being angry or jealous or sad or afraid, depressed, or even excited and happy, whatever those feelings may be. They are underneath the behavior, and they then form the underlying interests that we have. So if I want the full custody of my child, underneath that wanting may be that I feel my child needs a stable environment where I will make the decisions for her. I feel the need to make the decisions for her so I can provide a stable environment. And that's where all my feelings are giving me the strength to stand in the position and to manifest a kind of behavior that I may be doing, right? So in that place of feelings, there is more of a depth in the conversation when we can come into that during mediation. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the slides to come. But underneath the positions and the interests, so underneath the behavior, the feelings, there is the real pain. Coming to that pain sometimes is difficult. It's painful because it is a painful place, but often it can help us really bring a stronger and more sustainable resolutions. The resolutions that we bring are, by understanding the pain, are resolutions that really goes to the depth of what's happening. And that's where our needs lie. Usually the need underneath our pain are basic needs, need for love or belong or safety or appreciation, understanding, respect. Those are basic human needs that fuel our feelings, that supports our behaviors. And so as mediators, when we can come down, see beyond the positions into the interests, the feelings that are motivating those positions, and then underneath those feelings, the pain, what are the basic human needs that are motivating those feelings, we can be more effective as mediators. And in this case, as an example here, underneath my desire to want full custody of my child may be the feeling that my child needs a stable environment and needs me to be making decisions for them. And underneath that, there may be, the pain that I never had that growing up. I never had that for myself. And I need to give that to my child. And so understanding those pains helps us conduct the conversation in ways that are more meaningful and more prone to resolution. Here is another quick comparison chart here, where we can see that positions takes us to specific demands. They are rigid, they are statements. This is what I want, and they are inflexible. So, like I want full custody of my child. Or sometimes, the state independency court will demand a parent to complete rehabilitation. So they have to do that, and that's inflexible and rigid. Now, when we start looking into the interests, into the feelings underneath that rigidity, the feelings underneath those positions, then there's more room over there. We start understanding a little bit more of what's the structure that is holding that position. And there can be more flexibility. We can start opening different ways of resolution. So when we understand those feelings, we may see that a parent that wants full custody of their child is really looking for that stability. They're looking for that nurturing environment for their child. They want to feel invested in their child's future and what happens to their child. And so there's opportunities there where we can allow them to be invested. We can allow them to make decisions and yet not have full custody, because maybe they have to complete a rehabilitation program, or they have to go to some kind of training before they can regain custody. So there is more opportunities for win-win when we understand the feelings and that form the basis for the interests that are on the table. And this is where we talked about 200% satisfaction, which means it's a win-win, right? Both parties have their interests addressed. They may not have their positions met. They may not see, that which they want to see, but understanding the feelings underneath that, we may address their feelings. We may fulfill their feelings in a different way. And so we focus on interests. We focus on that deeper level where we can address the feelings, but not necessarily the positions. And here's an example of that. So the social worker in a dependency case may decide that the child needs to stay in foster care because that will be safer for the child. It will give the mother the time to recover and to succeed. And so the mother can then have time to create a safe home for the child so that the mother can show a safe home for the child. While on the other hand, the mother may feel like they want custody now. I want custody now. Because they want custody because the interests underneath, the feelings underneath, is the feeling to provide safety and stability and to be part of the child and to be invested in the child's life. And so there's an opportunity to allow the mother that interest to be invested and provide safety and to be part of the child's life, even if she doesn't have full custody of the child. Really? All right. So possible resolutions here would be to agree on a plan for the mother to succeed. So the mother go to, let's say, substance abuse counseling, or they have to do parenting classes, or whatever they need to do. They can do that so that the mother can clear a path to regain custody, and they can both still prioritize the safety of the child. So there's a quick example there for positions and interests. I hope that was helpful, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.